Hello, this is Sean from Time and Talk. Today I thought I'd make a video about my newest acquisition. It is, as you may be able to see, the Seiko SNK807K2, which I previously ordered another version of this watch. I can't remember the reference number. It's 80 something K2, and there's three different variations of this watch. There's a blue one, a black one, and a cream one. I think those are the only versions. I could be wrong, and that one got lost in the post, which, to be honest, I'm pretty glad, because the color scheme wasn't great. I probably would have never have worn it. This one's slightly nicer, and I just picked this up a few days ago. So I'm going to just take you through my thoughts on it, a little bit of a review, and a little bit of information about the watch. First of all, I was actually pleasantly surprised by the quality of this watch. It was, I'm not sure what the retail price is of this watch, because it's hard to actually find a clear price. They're so varying from £50 to £150, but I think the average is about 70 quid. So I wasn't expecting very much, if I'm honest. However, the quality is actually pretty good. Obviously, I'm not going to say it's a luxury quality, because that would be nonsense, but it's a really good watch for the money, and I would really recommend it for anyone who's, looking for a watch which is affordable and yet has some pedigree and is made by a good brand. You can't really go wrong with this. I'm wearing the SKX011, and actually it has quite a lot in common with this watch. I mean, for example, they share the same movement. The quality is better in this watch, but not by that much, to be honest. Anyway, so yeah, to start off with, so this watch, apologies for the background if it's a bit distracting, the table was all scratched, so I didn't want to show it in the video. So this is the watch. It's blue, with a blue canvas strap, and I'll take you through some specs. So it's 37 millimeters in diameter. It's 11 millimeters thick, so it's nice and thin. It's a field watch, so essentially it's kind of military style, the style kind of used by soldiers in the trenches, if you like. And my wife, who's not really a watch fan, she did say it reminded her of the Timex Expedition, which you can kind of see, and obviously it's a little bit like the Hamilton khaki field as well, but a lot cheaper than the Hamilton, not so much than the Timex. It's got an 18 millimeter lug width. It has the 7S26 movement in it, which is not hand winding, not hackable, but it's a workhorse movement, that's also in the SKX and can go decades without service. It's 62 grams in weight, which is a really good weight. It's got a day-date complication. It's automatic. It's got a hard Lex crystal, which is obviously not sapphire. It's Seiko's own kind of brand of mineral crystal, and it has got lume, but only on the hands. So it's not like the SKX, which the lume is fabulous. It's a little bit more understated than that, if understated to the word that I can use. It also has an exhibition case back. The movement's not the most pretty movement in the world, but for any kind of watch enthusiast, it is good to see, particularly if you're just getting into it, and perhaps this is your first ever automatic watch. Look at it ticking away there. It's pretty cool. Also, the watch has a completely brushed finish, to go with the kind of military style and the understated casual nature of the watch. It's all brushed and no polished surfaces. Okay. It's also got the characteristic crown at 4 o'clock that many Seikos have. Okay, so Seiko 5 is assumed to be the kind of more affordable version of the Seiko watches. And Seiko 5, all Seiko 5s share 5 characteristics. So it's got a day date, as you can see here. Automatically winding. Water resistance, apparently, though it's a strange one, because it's only water resistant to 30 meters, which is basically not water resistant. It's got Diaflex, which is an unbreakable mainspring. In case you don't know, the mainspring is the part of the watch that supplies the power. So it's like a coil of metal that stores the power in the movement, so then it can, operate the watch. So my understanding of that is that it means this won't break, so the watch won't stop working. It's also very shock resistant, what Seiko call Diashock. So in terms of my thoughts of this watch, those are the specs out the way. I didn't expect very much, so when I received it in the post, if I'm honest, with the SKXs, I've often been quite disappointed when they've arrived, because I've had very high expectations, because people go on about the SKXs all the time and say how amazing they are, which they are. But for example, the bezel action's often crap on the SKXs, and that's something that kind of makes me feel that the watches aren't perfect. Not that this watch is, but the kind of weight of it and the applied details, the Seiko 5, and it's just that you can't really go wrong at the price. So I was really impressed. It's quite traditional sized, which I like. It's also quite a fun watch. I mean, it's quite casual. Personally, I wouldn't wear this for work, and I wouldn't wear it with a suit or for any kind of smart occasion. But it's perfect for everyday wear, nice and shock resistant, nice and tough, understated. The canvas strap, a lot of people probably don't like it, but I quite like it. It's something a bit different to my other watches. It's also got a nice Seiko signed buckle. It's all brushed like the other details, so it goes with the watch quite well. So all in all, I kind of really like this watch. I think it's a really good buy for a first automatic watch, or if you just want a tough, rough and ready watch that you're going to wear for everyday wear. I think you can't really go wrong. Personally, I quite like the blue, but a lot of people say the black is more versatile. But in terms of versatility, I don't think you're going to be wearing this for smart wear. Perhaps I'm wrong about that, and it's just my opinion, but I think for smart wear it just wouldn't really go. It's because it's quite a fun kind of casual watch. I don't think it would really go. So just show you a quick wrist shot. Okay, so this is the watch on my wrist. I have a small wrist, 6.25 inches, I think it is, and this does look relatively small on me. So if you're looking for a big watch, this is not the watch for you. It's 37mm. As I said, in kind of the modern world, that's quite small, and it does wear quite compact, but I quite like that, to be honest. So the canvas strap hugs the wrist quite nicely. So yeah, tell me what you think about this watch, whether you like it, whether you own one, and what you think, whether you think I'm wrong about any of the things that I said. All in all, this is a fantastic watch for the money, and you can't really go wrong with a Seiko 5. Thanks very much. Bye bye.